If you've been following the crypto market lately, you've probably noticed one name coming up again and again: Donald Trump. The former US president, and possibly the next one, has officially stepped into the crypto conversation. But this time, it's not just a comment. It's a plan, one that could reshape how America handles digital currencies, blockchain regulation, and financial innovation as a whole. And what does that mean for XRP? Everything. Because for the first time, a major political figure in the United States is openly connecting crypto policy with national strategy. And XRP, with its unique position between regulation, payments, and institutional trust, could be at the center of what comes next. This is Crypto Equation. And today, we're going deep into what Trump's crypto strategy really means, what's changing behind the scenes in the US financial system, and how XRP could play a defining role in the coming reset of global money. Let's begin. In 2019, Donald Trump famously tweeted that he was not a fan of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. He called them volatile and based on thin air. The crypto world mocked him for it. Fast forward to 2025, and the picture couldn't look more different. Trump has evolved from being skeptical to being strategic. He now sees what many governments have realized, that digital assets are not a fad. They're a weapon, a tool of financial power and control in a world that's rapidly going digital. Behind closed doors, discussions are happening in Washington that will decide the next decade of finance. And for the first time, those conversations aren't just about the dollar, they're about blockchain. They're about stablecoins, CBDCs, and yes, networks like XRP that can move money faster than anything before it. So what exactly is Trump planning? In several recent statements, interviews, and private roundtables, Trump and his advisors have outlined a pro-innovation, pro-American crypto framework that would bring blockchain innovation back to the US, protect American investors and entrepreneurs from overregulation, position the US as a global leader in digital assets, not a follower. He's framing crypto not as a threat, but as a strategic advantage. And in that context, XRP's story becomes even more interesting. Because while most of the crypto world was built on speculation, XRP was built for utility, for global payments, cross-border settlement, and interoperability with the banking system. Exactly the kind of infrastructure the US government wants to modernize. That's where the connection begins. Let's look at the reality of the American financial system. The US dollar is still the world's reserve currency, but it's under pressure: rising debt, inflation, de-dollarization efforts from major economies like China, Russia, and even Saudi Arabia. At the same time, blockchain technology is rewriting how value moves globally. The next financial system won't be about paper, it'll be about code. And Trump's team understands this. They see that the future of monetary power won't be about who prints the most money, it'll be about who controls the rails that move it. In that sense, Ripple's technology, the same system that powers XRP, becomes strategically relevant because it offers the United States something priceless: a blockchain that's compliant, auditable, and already connected to hundreds of banks and institutions worldwide. It's the kind of infrastructure that a future US digital dollar could easily integrate with. Now let's be clear, Trump hasn't said the word XRP. He doesn't need to, because when he talks about building a pro-crypto America, when he talks about bringing blockchain jobs back to US soil, and when he criticizes the SEC for overstepping, he's directly touching on the environment that nearly destroyed Ripple. Remember, Ripple's battle with the SEC wasn't just about one company. It was about defining the future of digital assets in the United States. That case lasted for years. It was brutal, but in the end, Ripple won partial clarity, and XRP was declared not a security on secondary markets. That ruling changed everything. It gave XRP legal certainty in the US, something no other major token has. And now, under Trump's potential second term, that clarity could expand. If pro-innovation policy becomes real, Ripple's technology could be exactly what Washington looks for to modernize payments, speed up settlements, and keep the US competitive against China's digital yuan. This is where politics meets money. Because make no mistake, the next great war won't be fought with weapons. It'll be fought with currencies. China already has its own blockchain-based digital yuan. Europe is piloting the digital euro. And the US? It's still debating. Trump's strategy, if executed, would end that debate. He wants to make America the crypto capital of the world. And whether you love or hate him, that's a powerful stance. Because it means reversing years of anti-innovation policies, cutting through regulatory red tape, and unlocking what he calls financial freedom through technology. That's not a meme. That's a monetary strategy. And XRP, as the bridge between digital assets and traditional banking, could become one of the key tools in that plan. Imagine this scenario. The US launches a digital dollar, backed by the government, regulated, and interoperable with global systems. But how does that digital dollar move across borders? How does it interact with foreign currencies, with CBDCs, with tokenized assets? That's where XRP comes in. Ripple's network was designed for this. Fast, low cost, and compatible with compliance layers. It can move any asset from dollars to euros to digital gold in seconds. So when Trump's administration talks about modernizing the dollar, they're talking about infrastructure like this, rails that can move government-backed digital money instantly. The US doesn't need to build everything from scratch. It needs to integrate with what already works, and Ripple's technology works. That's why major banks, including some in the US, are already testing or integrating it. They're preparing quietly while the public still argues about price charts. Trump's team also knows the power of decentralization. During his speeches, he's repeatedly criticized the concentration of financial control in unelected agencies, calling out the Federal Reserve and the SEC. His message is simple: bring financial power back to the people. And in the crypto world, that message resonates, because decentralized systems are about independence, not just from banks, but from excessive government interference. Now imagine combining that message with regulated interoperable crypto assets. You'd have a system where freedom and stability coexist, exactly what Trump is promising politically. XRP, with its compliance-first design, fits perfectly into that narrative. It's decentralized enough to be efficient, but structured enough to be trusted. That balance, the one between freedom and order, is the same balance the US government has been searching for in crypto policy. But here's the part that's even more fascinating. Behind the scenes, financial institutions in the US are lobbying for clarity. They want rules that let them operate with blockchain technology legally and profitably. And the name Ripple keeps coming up in those conversations. Ripple has been attending meetings with the Federal Reserve's Faster Payments Task Force for years. It's not a secret. They've presented to US policymakers about interoperability, liquidity management, and blockchain integration. Now combine that with Trump's pro-innovation agenda. You start to see how the puzzle fits. If he wins, the new administration could push to integrate private blockchain infrastructure into the national payment system. And Ripple's technology is already tested, scalable, and regulatory ready. That's not speculation. That's positioning. Ripple has been preparing for this exact moment. Now, let's zoom out for a second, because Trump's crypto plan doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a larger global power struggle. The United States needs to maintain its dominance in the financial system, and to do that, it must stay ahead in blockchain adoption. China is ahead in CBDCs. Europe is moving fast with digital identity systems. The Middle East is tokenizing commodities and oil. If the US doesn't move now, it risks falling behind. And that's exactly what Trump's campaign advisors are warning about. They argue that crypto isn't a threat to the dollar. It's a way to strengthen it. By integrating blockchain technology like Ripple's into the US system, America can create a new kind of financial infrastructure, one that's faster, cheaper, and globally connected. A system that runs on American innovation, not foreign control. And that's where XRP becomes not just a crypto asset, but a national advantage. Now let's talk about the market impact. Whenever politics and crypto collide, volatility follows. We've seen it with Biden's policies, with SEC rulings, with ETF approvals. If Trump returns to power and follows through with his crypto agenda, XRP could be one of the biggest beneficiaries. Why? Because it's already battle-tested. It's already survived regulatory scrutiny, and it's already positioned for institutional integration. While many other coins would need to prove compliance, Ripple has spent years building for it. The irony is, the lawsuit that nearly broke Ripple might end up being its greatest advantage in the new political landscape, because now XRP stands as one of the few assets the US government can actually trust. Now let's take this a step further. Trump's broader goal isn't just to regulate crypto, it's to reshape America's monetary identity. He's hinted at replacing outdated systems, ending unnecessary dependence on foreign payment rails, and rebuilding US control over digital finance. In that context, Ripple's on-demand liquidity and XRP's bridge capabilities are exactly what's needed. Ripple's network already allows instant currency conversion. Imagine that applied to the US Treasury's global transactions. Imagine XRP used as the neutral asset for settlements between the digital dollar and foreign CBDCs. It's not science fiction. It's simply a question of political will. And if the next administration embraces that vision, XRP's role could expand exponentially. Let's look at one more crucial angle: public perception. Trump's base includes millions of retail investors, small business owners, and people who distrust the traditional financial system. They believe in independence, sovereignty, and self-custody. Crypto embodies those values. That's why his campaign is already signaling support for policies that make it easier for Americans to own, trade, and build on blockchain. If that momentum continues, it could trigger a massive wave of adoption across the US. And the assets best positioned to integrate with the existing system, like XRP, could lead that wave. Institutional adoption plus public acceptance. That's the recipe for a true financial revolution. Of course, not everyone supports Trump's approach. Critics say deregulation could lead to abuse, scams, and instability. They argue the government needs stronger oversight, not less. But here's the irony. Ripple's model actually aligns with oversight. It's transparent, traceable, and built for compliance. It's not about hiding money, it's about moving it efficiently and legally. So, while other crypto projects might struggle under future regulation, XRP could thrive. It could become the bridge between the government and the blockchain world. The asset that finally connects traditional finance and digital innovation. So what happens next? If Trump wins and implements his plan, expect several things. 1, crypto regulations will become clearer. That benefits projects like Ripple that already follow the rules. 2, the US will invest in blockchain infrastructure. Ripple is already there. And 3, the narrative around XRP will change. It won't be that coin from the lawsuit. It'll be the network behind America's new digital financial era. That's how fast perceptions shift when politics meets technology. Now let's imagine the long-term future. By 2030, most major economies will have digital currencies. The world's financial system will rely on tokenized value. Everything from fiat to real estate will exist on blockchain rails. To connect those systems, we'll need neutral assets, bridges that allow seamless global exchange. That's XRP's destiny. It doesn't compete with the dollar, it complements it. It strengthens global liquidity while reducing costs. And that's exactly the kind of system Trump's team envisions when they talk about economic leadership in a digital world. Because the country that controls the flow of digital money controls the future. So what does this all mean for XRP holders? It means the quiet phase is ending. The political phase is beginning. For years, XRP's story was about lawsuits, speculation, and waiting. Now it's about positioning, national, institutional, and global. And when political power aligns with technological potential, markets move fast, and those who've understood XRP's purpose, not just its price, will already be where they need to be. Because while most people focus on tweets and headlines, the real players are watching systems, the rails, the liquidity corridors, the legal frameworks, and those are all moving toward the same destination. So, is Trump the reason XRP will explode in value? Not directly, but his policies could create the perfect environment for it to happen naturally. Regulatory clarity, institutional confidence, national adoption. These are the catalysts that turn a crypto asset into financial infrastructure. And that's the path XRP has been on from the start. Trump's plan might just accelerate it. If this helped you see the bigger picture, subscribe to Crypto Equation, where we uncover the truth behind crypto, finance, and global power shifts. Drop a comment below. Do you think Trump's crypto policy could finally unlock XRP's true potential? Or will politics slow down innovation again? Either way, one thing is clear: the world is changing fast, and those who understand the equation before everyone else win. This is Crypto Equation, and I'll see you in the next one.